Well, today is August the 27th, and this is part 4 of our study of the ministry of Jesus. Well, we looked at the land where Jesus' ministry took place, and we looked at some of the people and people groups that interacted with Jesus while he was doing his ministry. Then yesterday we looked at John the Baptist as he prepared the way for Jesus. I think today we'll look at the 30 years that Jesus lived before he began his ministry. Now, we all know that Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, but he didn't live there or grow up there. He lived and grew up in Nazareth in Galilee. And Galilee is where he spent most of his ministry. So 30 years he stayed there in Nazareth, and the Bible doesn't give us any indication of what happened during that time, but we can pick up a few particles here and there of what it was like. And so today we want to look at some of that. In the book of Matthew chapter 13, verses 55 and 56, it says, the background for that is Jesus, when he began his ministry, went back over to Nazareth and began to teach, and they were shocked. They didn't understand where he got all of this. It says there, Matthew 13, 55, 56, is not this the carpenter's son? Now, Joseph was Jesus' legal father. He was not his actual father, but he was his legal father. When a child is born to a woman married to a man, that man becomes the legal father of that child, whether or not it is actually his. So Jesus was the legal son of Joseph, and Joseph was a carpenter. Now, a carpenter was just a worker in wood. We don't know exactly what type of wood he was doing. I don't know if he was building furniture or building houses or what he was doing, but he was working with wood in some way. Now, a Jewish father always taught his son his trade, his occupation, or he would send him to a master in a trade and let him teach his son a trade. Jewish boys always were taught some kind of trade. Now then, the rest of those verses says, is not his mother called Mary? So we know his mother, and his brethren, his brothers, James and Joseph and Simon and Judas and his sisters. Are they not with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? They said, we know him, we knew his father, we know his mother, we know his brothers and sisters. Why does he think he's got all of this? Now then, we also read in Mark 6, verse 3, the same setting. It says, is not this the carpenter? Here it calls Jesus the carpenter. Now we assume at this time that Joseph was dead because he's not mentioned anymore. That made Jesus the oldest son, the head of the family, and the head of the business. So Jesus was a carpenter, trained to be a carpenter, and worked in the carpenter's shop. And this also goes on to say, like the other, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph and Judah and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. They were offended because Jesus, up until age 30, never worked one single solitary miracle. He never did any deep teaching. He didn't go into a synagogue and teach them the things of God, because here they were shocked when he began to do that. He was just a normal, typical man during those first 30 years before he began his earthly ministry. Then at age 30, his ministry begins. So we'll leave that there until tomorrow, and we will look at the time he left Nazareth and Galilee and goes down to Judea to be baptized of John the Baptist. So until tomorrow, hope you have a fantastic day today.